Hello and welcome to the Dream Team Professor podcast. My name is Scott, and in this episode, we're going to be looking at all of the top point scorers and key talking points from the weekend's Euro 2024 action from a Dream Team fantasy football point of view. So, we're going to start off with the opener Germany 5, Scotland 1. A pretty one sided affair in this one. Early goals from Wirtz, Musiala, and then a straight red card leading to a penalty for Havertz to tuck away, pretty much put the game to bed within the first half. We then had goals from Fulkrug and Emre Can. I've got the graphic up here from ffstuff.co.uk. You can see all of the point scorers on the left. The PPM is what leads to the bonus points. You've got shots on target, tackles, big chances created. And then in the middle here, you've got the breakdown of the PPM, which leads to you getting the bonus points. So I'm going to start off with Germany first. So Wirtz at 4.5 million. He got 10 points for a good goal from outside the box, carrying on his good goal scoring run from his domestic season. Wasn't quite sure how it would translate. I don't watch much Bundesliga at all. I watch a bit of European football. But yeah, I was excited to see what Wirtz had playing for Germany, and he did impress. So 10 points for that goal, got one bonus point. Did have an early sub, which we kind of thought would be possible with the likes of Sane on the bench. Also had Thomas Müller, who came off the bench as well. And I do have a lot of depth there, but it's hard to know whether the early sub would have happened normally because they were already so far ahead by that second half. So he went off in the 63rd minute with 10 points, 5 ppm. Impressive performance. And a lot of people had him in their goal bonus booster played this week. So you would have been happy with that. 4.5 million looks good. Musiala also for 4.5 grabbed a goal, 3 bonus points, and was just one player performance mark from hitting that maximum bonus in the opening game of the tournament as well. So he looks really, really exciting. His bonus points were broken down into 5 successful dribbles, 100% pass completion, which is pretty ridiculous for the whole game. He came off in the 74th minute, so didn't misplace a single pass. 1 shot on target, 2 tackles, got him an extra point as well. And like Wirtz, he was subbed, so went off 74th minute, but it's hard to know whether they would have got off or not if the game was a little bit tighter. So overall, Wirtz, Musiala, really, really good point scorers. Musiala is one I'll be most interested in because he just seemed to rack up these bonus points so quickly from through those dribbles. So someone that I'll definitely have my eye on is Musiala. I'm then going to come to Havertz at 4.5 million. So he had a goal and an assist, 13 points for him. So you'd have been very pleased if you went outside of that big front three or big front four typically, and then went for Havertz instead of one of the big hitters in Ronaldo, Kane, Lukaku, Mbappe. I think he was maybe slightly fortunate to have got the points for the goal. So the assist was really, really good. He had 2 shots on target as well. But the penalty was won by Gundogan. And Gundogan typically is the penalty taker from what it looks like in qualifying, Nations League, all the previous matches. But Gundogan was sort of 2-footed in that winning the penalty, and then was too injured, it looked like, to take the penalty. So Havertz then stepped up to take it instead, slotting it away. But maybe slightly fortunate to have that goal for the penalty, but still 13 points. Really, really impressive. 63rd minute, he went off for Fulkrug, who went on to score himself a really good goal. There is that depth in the striker position as well, which means they can rotate those two as well. The only slight concern I would have if he was a Gundogan owner is if just because Havertz has scored this pen, whether or not they let him continue taking the pens, because it was a well taken penalty, and he has taken penalties previously as well. Gundogan, the player that I brought into my team for this match day 1, 4 million. He had 7 points for an assist, which was the assist for winning the penalty. But like I said, too injured to take it himself. And if you're like me and you brought Gundogan in the hope that he would get a penalty, you would have been really, really disappointed because they had a penalty shout ruled out by VAR in the first half. He looked like he was running for the ball to take that, but it was overturned. And then, of course, when that second pen came in, you kind of could see that he was in a bad way when it happened, and you just knew that he wasn't going to take it. Rather fortunate, actually, that he stayed on the pitch in general, because I was half expecting that he may end up going off injured at half time after that tackle, but he did carry on and play the full match, finished with 7 points. There was one player performance mark off of getting 1 bonus point as well. Finished up with 2 tackles. So in the grand scheme of things, 7 points, not a bad return, but you would have been gutted that you didn't get that penalty. And then Mittelstadt, I'm going to mention him at 3.5 million. He's been popular in all fantasy assets, in fantasy formats. 14% owned on Dream Team, which is lower than I expected. Rudiger is actually more highly owned than him at 20%. And Rudiger went on to score an own goal in this match. Mittelstadt managed 1 bonus point. In general, looked pretty solid. Kimmich did outscore him with 6 points, grabbing an assist, but Kimmich is at 5 million, and I still don't think that's really justified. So, yeah, overall, pretty happy with the Mittelstadt price point and having him in my team. But lastly, just Müller with an assist off the bench, and Emre Can with a goal in the 80th. And as you probably noticed, I'm not going to include any Scotland players. The idea of this, I'm going to highlight players that have done well with their point scoring and could potentially be ones to target when we come on to do our match day 2 targets later in the week. So Hungary 1, Switzerland 3, the second game I'm going to come to. Again, this is by ffstuff.co.uk. Switzerland had the early goal with Dua up top, 12th minute. And then had Abischer scoring in the 45th. Real newcomer to the Switzerland team, it seems, along with Dua, actually. Varga scored in the 66th, and Brie and Bolo scored in the 93rd off the bench. We'll start off with Abischer, £2 million midfielder on the game, playing left wing back, grabbed a goal and an assist, 13 points. That was his first goal for Switzerland as well. I must say, I was a little bit annoyed seeing him on the pitch, because my player, Shaqiri, was missing from the squad and didn't feature. Abischer was the sort of name that I didn't really recognise when I saw this Switzerland lineup come out. But it didn't turn out that he was taking Shaqiri's spot as such, because he was playing left wing back. But yeah, really, really disappointing to not have Shaqiri in the squad or feature at all. But Abischer from left wing back, a goal, assist, 13 points, just 3 player performance marks, so no bonus. But yeah, shot on target, just the 1 tackle, so no tackle points, and then a big chance created, which I assume was the assist. So good performance from him, but not someone I'd really be targeting. I'd want to see a little bit more first, especially as he's a wing back down as a midfielder. Dua up top, he had a well-taken goal. He only made his debut 11 games prior as well, so he's in at 2 million. But again, I'd want to see a little bit more before I went for a Switzerland attacker. I think Xhaka, 3 million player of the match, man of the match performance. Didn't really translate into points, though, just the 4 points for him. 1 shot on target and some tackle points. He had Brill and Bolo with 2.5 million, got a late goal off the bench, just dinking it over the top of the keeper. Really, really solid player. I was surprised not to see him start, but I think he might have had a few injury problems through the season. Only conceded 2 shots on target and 3 big chances in the game, Switzerland. So the defence actually looked pretty well organised. They did dominate the game, which I kind of fancied Hungary in this match, to be honest with you. But yeah, might be some potential for players to target from the defence. Maybe a Kanji, Fabian Schär, Rodriguez, who sort of switched between sort of playing that wing back and then left back role. I can't really say I'm tempted to target any of these Switzerland players unless it's potentially that Scotland match and maybe going for a clean sheet. But yeah, I'll definitely be removing Shaqiri from my team ahead of next week. But typically he'll probably go on to play that Scotland game, but I don't feel like you can take any chances with not seeing the lineups on this Dream Team game. From Hungary, pretty disappointing. Like I said, fancied them to do pretty well in this group, but it might have been more that Switzerland were impressive than Hungary weren't good. There was that goal from Varga in the 66th minute. He's 2 million, got a goal, a shot on target, 2 tackles, 10 points. But the main man that is probably the most popular player from Hungary was Dominik Szoboszlai. 3.5 million was the standout performer, really. 10 points, 3 bonus, and 1 assist. 9 player performance marks in this match. Just took all the set pieces. He had a dribble, 3 accurate crosses, 85% pass accuracy, a block, and 2 fouls won. So 3 bonus points, 1 shot on target, 2 big chances created. The only thing I would say is that they've got Germany up next, but I'm still pretty confident that Szoboszlai can do okay out of that match, and I'd probably be looking to keep him for the Scotland game as well. Where they've lost this first match as well, they'll still have everything to play for, you'd think, in that third and final match. So I think Szoboszlai is probably still a solid hold. Spain 3, Croatia 0. Spain, one of the only 2 teams so far to keep a clean sheet, but it wasn't that secure. So we'll say Unai Simon in goal, 4 million, hit 12 points, and Carvajal, 4 million, also hauled with 16 points. So Simon in goal. I felt like he was fairly lucky not to have conceded after the penalty, which was a bit controversial itself. Rodri getting a yellow card, sort of taking out the Croatia player right before he was through on goal. I'm surprised it wasn't a red card. I know there's the double jeopardy rule is now in place, but it didn't look like a genuine effort to sort of win the ball. So, kind of a little bit of a strange one there. Simon went to saved the penalty, but then Croatia scored the rebound. It then went back and looked, and there was encroachment in the box. But it also looked like Simon was off his line as well when he saved the penalty. So I guess the encroachment comes before the save, which is why they ruled it out. But 5 points for saves for Simon, 12 points in total, and of course kept the clean sheet because of it. But yeah, I felt he was slightly fortunate. Carvajal grabbed a goal, 6 player performance marks, bonus, shot on target, 2 tackles. So 16 points from Carvajal. And speaking of the defence, I think one of the talking points as well was Cucurella, starting left back, got the nod over Grimaldo, which we did think was a possibility. They were both getting a go in the friendlies, and it was sort of hinted that Cucurella might be favoured over him just because he was gave a little bit more balance to the team, where he wasn't as attacking as Grimaldo, for example, because Carvajal does get forward as well. So it does seem like they've gone for that more balanced approach with Cucurella, and then Carvajal as the guy that gets forward. But overall, pretty decent defensive performance, even though they did give away quite a few chances. Fabian Ruiz, 3.5 million, 14 points, got a goal and an assist with a bonus point as well. I know it's 2 attacking returns is decent, but I still can't see him being a player that I end up targeting. Pedri got an assist, but again, sort of 2 players that aren't the most attacking or sort of known for their attacking returns. So still, it's a tough group as well. I'm not that sure that I'll be putting them on the watch list yet. Yamal, though, 4 million. The youngster was incredible. So 9 points, grabbed an assist, a shot on target, tackle points, 2 big chances created. And he just in general looked brilliant. Quite a lot was coming from his side down the right-hand side. I did think that he would do better for bonus points, actually, or PPM. So just the 3 player performance marks in this game. I thought FF Stuff's data, it sort of hinted towards that he would be really, really good for dribbles and getting bonus, but maybe it was just not the game for that. But overall, really, really strong performance from him. Neco Williams on the left-hand side, not as impressive, just the 2 points, went off after 68 minutes. Yamal stayed on till the 86th. But it did show that they had quite a bit of depth when they made these changes in the second half. So Morata, 5.5 million, scored, I think it was the opening goal, 11 points, 2 shots on target. But he was an early sub, so he went off in the 67th. And what I meant about these subs was he did have Oyarzabal, Olmo, and Ferran Torres all coming on for Spain. So pretty much changed their whole attack and showed what sort of depth they had. From Croatia, though, 4 million. Vardiol played at left back instead of left centre back, which probably makes him a better option. Only the 1 point, though, in this game. But it probably does make him a better option if you wanted to try and go there for the Albania match. But one thing I would say is that Albania weren't any sort of pushovers against Italy. So I wouldn't completely bank on getting a Croatia clean sheet for that one. But other than that, no real standout performance to make a claim for match day 2, I don't think, from Croatia. You had Sotalo, 3 million, 11 player performance marks, which is one off the maximum. 2 dribbles, 97% pass accuracy, 4 fouls, 1 block, and 2 interceptions. And then you had Kovacic as well, 1 player performance marks off of 3 bonus points. But yeah, overall, nothing major to see from Croatia that made me want to target them for the next round. Next up, we have Italy 2, Albania 1. So early goal from Badrami. And then we had Bastoni, the centre-back, with the equaliser in the 11th minute. And then Barella soon after that, getting back in control of the game with a long-range strike in the 16th minute. So again, check this out on ffstuff.co.uk. Italy, first we'll go with their sort of back line because there was a few question marks over that at the start. So started with a back 4 with DeMarco, 4 million, Calafiori and Bastoni. Calafiori 3 million, which is a nice price point for an Italy defender. Bastoni at 4 and Di Lorenzo 4.5 million, making up the back 4. DeMarco 6.8% owned, the highest owned Italy defender. Made a big error for the first goal. So taking a sort of quick throw in deep in his own half, threw it straight to was it Badrami of Albania, who then went on to grab the goal. So he did finish with 4 points in total, which was made up of 1 bonus point and 1 shot on target. But yeah, that was the sort of main takeaway from that game. It's hard to shrug off that initial error that he made. 5 player performance marks made from 1 successful dribble, 2 accurate crosses, 96% passing accuracy, 1 block. But then he got -2 for the error leading to a goal. But overall, he looked okay, but he's not someone that we're probably going to keep past this Albania match. He had Bastoni, who grabbed a goal, 10 points, plus 1 bonus. And then Di Lorenzo and Calafiori both had 7 player performance marks, which left them close to getting 3 bonus each, still only coming away with that 1 bonus. So Di Lorenzo 4 points, Bastoni 10, DeMarco 4, and Calafiori 2 points because he did pick up a yellow card as well. I actually did think that Italy looked pretty strong at the back, and I would probably be considering going back to them later in the tournament, but definitely not for this Spain fixture because Spain did look pretty dangerous in that last match. Barella 4 million was a doubt for this game, but did play really, really well. 10 points for him. And then Chiesa 4.5 million, grabbed 6 points, had 10 player performance marks, 3 bonus, 1 big chance created. Pellegrini 3 million, 7 points. He had an assist playing more of that left-hand side. But none of the sort of attacking players really called out to me that well. Chiesa was okay. I was a bit surprised to see he got 10 player performance marks. And Barella, someone I probably would have considered if I hadn't have seen that he had these injury doubts going into the match. But again, with that Spain match up next, I think you just let that one play out and then maybe look to go to these for the final fixture or even see what the draw is like when they make it through. On the Albania side of things, I can't imagine many of us are going to be targeting players from there, but Badrami, 1.5 million, got the fastest goal scored at the Euros, 9 points. Mitaj scored 5 points, getting 3 bonus, 5 interceptions and 2 tackles. And they did only have 32% possession in the game. Italy were pretty much well in control. Gave up 5 shots on target, 5 big chances created, and had just the 1 shot on target for the goal. So Italy, pretty dominant in the game, but Albania did still make it difficult. Yeah, I can't imagine they're going to be a side that does sort of get turned over too badly, even by the likes of Spain or Croatia. Poland versus the Netherlands ended 2-1 to Netherlands. Gakpo and Weghorst were the goal scorers for Netherlands, and Buxa, the stand-in for Lewandowski, grabbed an early lead for Poland. So we'll start with Netherlands. You had a back 4 of Dumfries, De Vrij, Virgil van Dijk, and Ake. Dumfries getting the start, even though there was rumours that Frimpong was going to. There was a rumour online about the bibs that players were wearing in training, and it looked like Dumfries Sorry, that Frimpong was going to get the start, but one of these typical Twitter rumours that doesn't come to fruition, it seems. Another clean sheet, wiped early. So not that many clean sheets so far, wiped in the 16th minute. Ake, 4 million, still came worth 9 points because he grabbed 2 assists in this match. 3 PPM though, so no bonus. Virgil van Dijk, 5 million. I think you'd have been a little bit frustrated if you splashed out 5 million for him, just the 3 points. Did have a shot on target with a volley, but not really enough to impact the game. Netherlands did have 6 corners though, and I must say they did look a threat from each of them. Dumfries, 5 points, 1 bonus point, 4 tackles, pretty much led the way outside of Ake from the back line. Gakpo was the star performer though, 16 points, a goal, 2 shots on target, tackles, maximum bonus with 13 player performance marks. So I'm not sure we've seen it that many times for him playing for Liverpool, but definitely was the main man in this game. 4 dribbles, 2 crosses, 85% passing accuracy, a goal from outside of the box got him the extra PPM, and then 4 fouls won. So a pretty all-round performance, and their standout point scorer. Memphis Depay was someone that I liked the look of because he did run the show in a recent friendly, looked pretty good, but only the 2 points from him. I thought he was pretty poor in general. And we had Veerman taking corners, but once he went off, Depay took 2. But it does seem like Veerman's going to be the set piece taker if you're interested for future matches. Xavi Simons at 4 million, someone that I did like the look of, but not a great game from him. He was replaced in the 62nd minute by Donnell Marlon. I feel like a lot of people, if you had taken the punt on Frimpong, you was waiting for Frimpong to come in his place, but no, it was Marlon that came in, and Frimpong didn't come on until the 81st minute. But super sub Wout Weghorst did come off the bench to get a late winner. Seems to turn up in these big tournaments for Netherlands. For Poland, Buxa, 2 million. The Lewandowski replacement grabbed the early goal. Lewandowski was named on the bench, but didn't come on. Buxa scored 9 points. I'm not sure whether or not Lewandowski is still fit enough. I thought it seemed like he was going to be missing quite a few games in the tournament. But maybe they just get named on the bench anyway. I saw that Luke Shaw was named on the bench yesterday, and I didn't really expect that he was going to be playing either. So we'll have to wait and see on him. Zielinski, 3 million. He's on corners, assisted the goal, had 7 points and a shot on target. And then they had 5 points for Arsenal's Kivior and Zelewski, but nothing really of note dream team wise. I thought Szczesny had an all right game, but I wouldn't be selecting any Poland players. But they did make for a tough opposition, so gave up quite a lot of possession, but still managed to have 7 shots on target playing on the break. So yeah, not terrible performance from Poland. I know a lot of the predictions had them as sort of being one of the worst teams. But yeah, again, it doesn't look like some of these teams that were in the projections to be pretty poor, still putting up quite a tough fight in these matches. Slovenia won, Denmark won. Christian Eriksen is going to be the main talking point here. A very, very popular pick and done really well. So looking at the lineups, I was a bit surprised to see no Myler starting at wing back. I also thought that Jaya, or Kajaya, I don't know how you say it, would start, but he didn't start either. It was a backline of Vestergaard, Anderson, Christensen, the other Christensen at wing back, and then Barr on the other side. So yeah, no space for Meyer. Eriksen, £3 million, ran the show, so maximum bonus points, massive 12 player performance marks. That was pretty much made up of 7 accurate crosses, which was the bulk of those bonus points, really. He took 9 corners, real big contributor throughout the game. Obviously grabbed his goal that was well taken. A cheeky back heel from Vind, who got the assist in that one. But 14 total crosses in the game from Eriksen, playing at number 10. He really was impressive. So 5 bonus, a shot on target, just a 1 tackle though. But overall, if you had Eriksen at 3 million, you'd be very, very pleased with that return. The only question mark would be, are you going to keep him for the England game? But I think if I had him at 3 million after that performance, I'd just keep him there, I think. Hoyland, 4 million, just a one shot on target and 4 points in total. From Slovenia, you had Sesko, who was popular coming into it because of his goal scoring record, 2.5 million. He had a long range effort in the first half, which was fairly close. And then late on, he had a really good long range shot that hit the bar or hit the post, I think it was. So a few big chances, but in general, 2 points, not a good return. Serin, who I like the look of from his qualifying campaign, didn't really deliver. So he would have hit bonus points if you look at the build up of his player performance marks, apart from -5 for fouls conceded. So basically overturned his hard work, giving away so many fouls. Then you had Janza, £1.5 million defender, hit a late equaliser from a long range deflected shot. So he got 13 points, 3 bonus, a shot on target, and a big chance created. But Slovenia gave up a lot of possession, didn't really have too many chances. So they could be one to potentially target a little bit later on in the tournament. And then the one that we've all been waiting for, England 1, Serbia 0. Really, really impressive first half for England, but then faded away in the second half, or even sort of towards the end of the first half. It started to go a little bit downhill for England, but got the 3 points, but wasn't a perfect performance really. So we start off with the clean sheet. So only England and Spain so far keeping clean sheets in the tournament. Backline of Pickford, Trippier at left back, Stones and Gahey at centre back, and Walker at right back. So I think Gahey at 3 million stood out to me. Performed really well at just 3 million as well. So he could be a bargain to pick up later in the game. Walker, 4 million, bonus point. But don't really think that he was worth the extra 1 million over Gahey if we're planning for the future game weeks. He had Trent at 5 million, playing in a midfield role, but obviously down as a defender on the game. So he banked the clean sheet before going off in the 69th. So you might get early subs from Trent if England do lose control of the game, but he did look all right, I thought. One shot on target, 1 bonus point. I feel like his bonus point may have continued if sort of England kept hold of the game, but the fact that he was playing in midfield and he sort of did lose control of the middle was maybe partly his fault. Taking all set pieces, though, did look like a good option. I think Trippier took a few, which I was surprised by, because in the friendly, Trent pretty much took everything, but still, I think it contributed to Trent getting those bonus points. Bellingham, £6 million, was the star performer in the game. So grabbed an early goal, took the lead for England, 13 points, 8 player performance marks, got him 3 bonus. And those bonus points were just rising so quickly for him. If you were watching the game, but also keeping an eye on Dream Team. So he had 1 successful dribble, 96 pass completion, 1 interception, 4 fouls won, and -1 for a foul conceded. But all they were constantly doing was trying to foul Bellingham. And what makes him look so good is the fact that people are trying to take him out and they can't even get near him to take him down. So it was fouled 4 times, but there were so many chances that he skipped past players that were trying to wipe him out. 3 bonus points, 1 shot on target, and 3 tackles. He was just absolutely everywhere. One end he's attacking, the next he's winning the ball back. Really, really impressive. He did look like he was going to be good for player performance marks based on those matches he played in qualifying, but I think it was only something like 4 of the qualifiers that he did play. But again, really, really impressive. England's standout performer, and someone that if you didn't start the game with, like me, you will be starting to think about how you can get him in your side. Saka, 6.5 million, grabbed an assist, obviously, for the Bellingham goal. I think he had a really strong first half, but he did fade off in the second. Maybe that is something to do with this injury he ended the season with. Bowen came on and replaced him. Phil Foden, 6.5 million. I think he struggled really to get into the game. He had a few decent link-ups with Bellingham at the start, but overall, I don't think he really impacted the game off the left. He was trying to get into those more central positions like we see for City, but overall, not impressed with how Foden played in this game. And I don't entirely blame him either in the position that he's being played, but there's no way that he takes that number 10 position off of Bellingham at the minute. Harry Kane, 7.5 million. Really, really quiet first half. Just the one shot on target in the game. He did come into it in the second half, mostly holding up the ball and winning fouls. He won 6 fouls in the game, which contributed to him getting 1 bonus point. He was just 1 ppm off of getting 3 bonus points. But overall, quiet game from Harry Kane and not very involved either. So he was my captain. So really did disappoint in my team, but I still think I'd be willing to keep him for the Denmark match. That is everything for this episode. So hopefully you found it helpful. I'm going to do these throughout the match day and then follow up with a players to target for match day 2 with captaincy, booster ideas, and then players that we've picked out from these recaps. If you're looking for a bit more Dream Team content, the Dream Team Tonic podcast, we're going live this evening to our Patreon community, and then that will be out later in the week. But if you did want to become a Patreon member, there's a link in the description below. You get early access to the podcasts, and you can join us live on those streams on YouTube. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow for the next one. Goodbye.